中国这么大，永远读不完。咱们的老朋友，你所不知道的中国回来了。2014年，江苏广电总台推出大型纪录片《你所不知道的中国》。之前2季呢，一共是51集，将近1530分钟的精彩内容，分享中国骄傲，讲述中国故事。今天开始，接连6个周六，《你所不知道的中国》第3季就要跟大家见面了。 和以往不同啊，本期节目呢是由江苏广电总台与英国雄狮影视合作拍摄，并且将在江苏卫视与 BBC 世界新闻频道全球同步播出，厉害了啊！那么用国家视角探索中国，我们将发现哪些中国传奇，又会带来哪些中国故事呢？首先要带来的是北京和中部篇，在中国的心脏地带，会有哪些你所不知道的精彩正在上演。
China is changing. In the last 10 years, it's seen the most extraordinary transformation in every aspect of modern life. Its economy, its technology, its transport, and its culture.
In this series, we'll be exploring one of the most varied and surprising countries in the world. From the remote mountains and diversity of the southwest,
to the frozen lands of the northeast. And from huge deserts to teeming cities.
We'll see how people all over China are facing the challenges of the future, whilst preserving the traditions of their past.
Welcome to Tales from Modern China.
In this program, we're journeying to the very heart of central China and uncovering the cultural crossroads in the nation's capital. Jason joins the high rollers at China's biggest auction.
And this has just shot up in value.
Cameron feels the speed on the fastest rail network in the world. And I'm going back in time in Beijing in search of some classic Chinese design.
Beijing, a city with over 3,000 years of history and the imperial center of successive dynasties. A city at the forefront of the nation's rapid modernization. But as spending power has rocketed here over the last decade, Chinese people are discovering a renewed interest in their past culture and heritage.
And that is why, even though China's only recently opened its doors to foreign auction houses, it's already the largest art market in the world. And today, 6 of the world's top 10 auction houses are Chinese.
One of the biggest of these is China Guardian Auctions, who recently sold an ancient manuscript for a record-breaking $30 million. Here, the final day's viewing is underway for one of their biggest sales of the year. Over the next 5 days, 4 auction rooms will be running almost continuously from 10 a.m. till midnight. They will sell 6,000 lots in 280 hours of auctioneering. As you'd expect, much of what they're selling is traditional Chinese art and artifacts, paintings, porcelain, ceramics, and calligraphy. Mrs. Hu Yanyan, China Guardian CEO, shows me one of the star lots in this treasure trove. A huge Qing dynasty porcelain vase.
Why is this piece so important?
是因为它是宫廷制作的，就是清代专为皇帝制作的，都是每一笔这样手工画上去的。你看这个水，这 water。
Yeah, the water. Look, you can actually feel the water. It's really quite stunning. So which one do you like?
这件呢是我非常喜欢的一件器物，因为呢我收藏单色釉。
Antiques enthusiast Miss Feng Weiyu has traveled nearly 2,000 kilometers to be here. During the preview, buyers are allowed to carefully examine the lots to check their condition. And for Miss Feng, only the best will do.
可以用光来看一下，你可以看到这个钛是不是很薄啊？对，它会有一点点的一个 这个地方是有个小的一个位置，对，你可以看到吗？小的学乐瓷器呢，对这个品相要求很重要。我的要求就是要品相完美的。
Put off by this almost invisible flaw, the bowl drops down Miss Feng's shopping list. What really catches her eye is the Emperor's faultless vase.
你看这一件是乾隆的双耳那个窑变釉的双耳瓶啊，这颜色非常漂亮，流光溢彩啊！你看。
Can I come and watch you when you bid?
好啊，欢迎啊，欢迎。
While many of these beautiful objects are hundreds of years old, the auction house itself, founded in 1993, is still relatively new. Xu Jun is Beijing's most experienced auctioneer.
那个我从事这个行业呢有18年了。那么开始呢拍这种小的拍品，那么单件油品我们才1、2千块钱。那么现在呢，由于18年了，那么到了现在呢，已经可以单件拍品呢已经拍到好几个亿了。
The auction is a magnet for connoisseurs from across China, and I've been invited by avid collector Miss Feng to watch her bid for her vase. This 5-day auction starts with a bang. The highest price lots all up for sale on the first night. Soon, a sumptuous Qing vase that I saw earlier goes under the hammer.
Done. $1.5 million for this beautiful vase. That's a bargain, I think.
Finally, it's time for the lot that Miss Feng has set her sights on.
今天晚上应该会拍得很好，哎，我有点担心，不知道能不能拍得到。
好，2613号起叫价18万、18万、18万、19万、19万、20万、20万、22万。刚开始的时候我就等一等，因为刚开始是有很多只牌，然后等它，你看又来一个。
So she's going to wait a bit.
35万、35万、
$53,000 US.
38万、38万。
It's really very exciting. And it looks like two people, Miss Feng and someone else, who desperately want this beautiful vase. I wonder how far she's going to go.
42万、42万、42万、45万、48万、50万、52万、55万。
This has just shot up in value from its original price.
加55万、58万。
She's keeping going.
60万、60万、60万，还有加那么60万。
We're on $88,000 now, still climbing.
61万、61万，还有加价那么61万、61万，最后一次。
The gavel's about to go down. Has she got it?
8203号。
非常开心。
By the end of the evening, nearly $100 million has gone under Mr. Su's hammer in just one day.
今天我在台上这个台上已经站了7个半小时，所以说呢，也是对我来说，真是体力、意志都是一种考验。对我来说，可能最大的愿望就是现在就是回去睡觉了，休息了，明天还要工作。
I can really tell by the way that you're touching it that you really love this piece.
是的，非常的喜欢，应该说是找到我心爱的东西，非常的美。你看几百年留存下来，它还这么完整，所以我也要好好的保管它。
China's workforce is the largest on Earth, and it's becoming more mobile by the day. One of the biggest changes is China's flourishing high-speed train network, the longest of its kind in the world. In 2015, it carried 961 million passengers. And there's one man who has seen more of China's railway network than just about anyone else. Railway photographer and all-round train enthusiast, Wang Wei.
我从小就住在铁道边上，我呢就是与生俱来的喜欢火车，就是与生俱来的。对于我来说，最爱做的事情应该就是这个拍摄火车，它就确实就特别美。
Aged just 26, Wang Wei's photos have already caught the attention of the Chinese government's Department for Railways. I'm meeting him for his latest assignment. We're heading off from Beijing West Station to photograph the trains in Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province. And immediately, they've got a surprise for him.
We're going in.
With safety the priority, especially in foggy weather, today's driver is focused on the job. So we're being shown around by his colleague, Mr. Song.
首先啊，我想问一下，开这样的一个火车是什么感觉呢？
这种感觉非常的爽，开高铁动车组就像飞了一样，每小时310公里的速度，一个人坐在驾驶室里，有一种驾驭感。
By 2025, there'll be nearly enough Chinese high-speed railway to travel around the equator.
哇，那你肯定很了解啊！你开了多少公里呢？
我大概开了有300多万公里。
哇！你为什么做这样的一个工作呢？
我的爷爷、我的父亲都在铁路上工作。小时候我的志向就是看着飞驰而过的火车，我心里默默的想，长大以后我也一定要开火车。
Here we are at Zhengzhou Station. That was fast.
Zhengzhou East Station is the central crossroads of the network and the country's largest high-speed railway hub. It used to take 12 hours to get from Beijing to Zhengzhou. Now the journey takes just 2.5. And one man who's seen the transformation of Zhengzhou East Station is train driver Mr. Song's father, who also spent his life working on the railway.
你好，我才10岁左右的时间，我上到火车上，看着司机，他们填煤嘛，蒸汽机，哎，填煤、烧水、蒸汽机。
那时候干活可累啊。
哎，对，那时候可辛苦啊。
对呀。
哎，司机。
我觉得这个很难得啊，就是有2代都在啊。他可以跟你们拍照吗？你是不是也要记录一下？
可以。
漂亮，
特别好。好，谢谢您。
拜拜啊，拜拜。
65,000 passengers use Zhengzhou East Station every day, so it's crucial that things run smoothly. So next on Wang Wei's photographic shopping list is the place where this massive operation is controlled.
你好。
Wu Haoshu helps to keep the system running on time, monitoring up to 300 trains every day.
就比如一天就是晚点3趟车的话，都会觉得不太顺利。今天。
等一下，你的意思是，如果1%的车起延迟了，这是不好？
对，因为高铁就是要安全正点嘛。
With such a punctual service, getting Wang Wei's final shot shouldn't be too difficult.
We've come to Hebei Station, just one stop out of Zhengzhou, to really get the experience of one of these monsters flying by at full throttle. There's one due down the track any minute now. Here it comes. Now that was fast.
China's central region is dominated by the capital Beijing, trendsetter for the nation. It's the home of glitzy, glamorous Chinese Fashion Week, and China's fashionistas are keen to buy.
As China's opened up in the last few decades, the uniform clothing in shops has been replaced by a globally recognizable wardrobe.
三里屯里面那个 cos， basic house 啊 ，H&M 吧，这民族好像有点夸张。
There isn't a distinctive Chinese style to people's clothing. We could be anywhere in the world. That's globalization for you.
Nowadays, the whole world seems to wear just a handful of brands.
But it hasn't always been this way. Back in the 1920s, a new innovation, the movies, meant that traditional Chinese styles came under the influence of Western fashions.
Inspired by the latest fashions from Paris, the traditional loose-fit costumes of the Qing dynasty were updated and made popular by the cinema. A new dress style was born. It was called the qipao. While its high collars and simple lines look unmistakably Chinese to us today, The qipao is in fact a fusion of Western style with Chinese tradition and was a staple of the glamorous fashion scene back in the first age of Chinese cinema. I've come to the Beijing Institute of Fashion in search of a true guardian of the classic 1930s qipao, Professor Shi Liping.
石老师你好
啊，你好，欢迎你的到来。
哇，你们这里真漂亮，那么多旗袍，哇，这都是你们做的。
然后这件呢是跟我师傅30多年前跟我师傅学的时候做的第一件旗袍啊。
旗袍是什么？
某种意义上来讲，旗袍就是这个领型的设计，再加上盘扣，然后再加上非常合体，然后再加上两边开气儿。
Traditional qipaos are simple and elegant as they are made from a single piece of material buttoned down one side of the body. While the qipao contains a westernized twist, it still preserves the essence of traditional Chinese design.
然后这个领子也是把住我们女人的脖子，过去不希望女人左顾右盼，所以是中式的理念，就是让女人内敛、含蓄、柔美而不张扬的状态啊。
Okay, so be more modest.
But has the Chinese character of classic qipao chic been lost to globalization? One young fashion designer, Shi Mingyue, is determined to bring sexed-up qipaos back onto China's catwalks. And in her honor, I'm wearing one myself.
Excited. This is our new collection. Like really different.
It is very different.
Yeah.
It's quite revealing.
Yeah, a lot of dresses are kind of revealing. Yeah. We're trying to revolutionize the qipao design. Our customers mostly are young people in China, like maybe they will have a very traditional qipao for their wedding, but they like qipao, they want to wear it into their everyday life.
Yeah. I would wear this every day. They go with boots as well.
Shi wore a different qipao each day. Sometimes underwater, sometimes in midair, as she traveled the world for a year for a performance project vlog before she set up her company.
I really want to break the rules of how qipao were designed. I like scuba diving. I like doing those extreme sports. We want to create an option for today's Chinese girls, like when they want to buy Chinese-looking clothes. There's also an option that is like qipao. Young people have the right to wear qipao.
Shi's target market is young, independent Chinese women like herself. And for her New Year's special photo shoot, she's using her taste and girl power to sell dresses.
So why are we in a boxing ring?
Because in China, when you go home every year, you meet your mother, aunts, so everyone will ask you oh, why are you still single? You should find someone to marry. So today we're saying that you should learn some boxing before going home for this kind of you can take some actions. Qipao was a very rebelling dress in the very beginning. So when you tie it back to the origin of qipao, I think that kind of connected.
Wow, I think you could be the future.
Thank you.
That.
Yeah.
Clothing is not the only aspect of traditional Chinese culture that deserves appreciation. The Chinese script is one of the most complex and ancient writing systems in the world, some say dating back over 6,000 years. But in the modern age, it's facing new challenges. There are about 90,000 Chinese characters in the modern language. Not many people master them all, but you will need to know about 1,000 just to read a newspaper. I've come to Anyang City to join a handwriting class at Yingxing South Primary School.
When I first started learning Chinese, the hardest part by far was not the speaking, but the writing. I mean, when you think about it, thousands of tiny characters, all with their own individual meanings.
But today, people's reliance on texting and typing means their relationship with writing is changing. In order to understand why, I've come to the Anyang Museum of Handwriting to meet Richard Sears, a leading researcher on Chinese characters. He came to China in the 1970s from America to study the DNA of the Chinese script.
The most important thing to understand about Chinese characters is that they're sometimes derived from a pictograph. And if you know the original pictograph and its original meaning, all of these lines, all of these strokes suddenly are logical.
I see.
Now this is a woman, and it's a character of a kneeling woman. And these are breasts. They may look like hands, but they're breasts. And this is a broom. And this is the handle. And this, you can see that you swipe with the broom. Women were very good with brooms back in the old days.
Through the centuries, handwriting has changed. Perhaps the biggest change came in the 1950s, when the government promoted using simplified versions of the characters in a drive to increase literacy rates.
Now, here there's a big transition. This woman doesn't look like this woman. This is a simplified character.
And in the modern era, our reliance on computers means the distance between these simplified characters and their original pictograph just got a little bit greater. It wouldn't be practical to have a keyboard with 90,000 individual characters, so software offered a solution using the Roman alphabet.
If I say D-A-N, we can see here a number of characters that are all pronounced Dan. One of them is the character for egg. This character is pretty easy to recognize, but it's really quite difficult to write if you don't happen to remember exactly all the strokes. If you don't remember it, you're lost.
So is the ancient skill of Chinese handwriting slowly disappearing? Handwriting teacher Song Xin tells me more.
现在科技的发展的确给我们带来了方便，但是呢，这个提笔忘字这种现象呢，的确时有发生。所以现在呢，从国家到地方都认识到了这个问题。
Government changes to the curriculum mean that now 10 minutes of every class is dedicated just to handwriting. And school calligraphy clubs and handwriting competitions are increasingly popular. There are even game shows on national TV.
蝉，请开始答题。
In a Chinese version of a spelling bee, children compete live to write the most complicated characters from memory.
祝贺红方选手在这一组比赛。
如果中国消失了这些文字，会是一个什么样子的情况呢？
绝对不可能。 这种现象绝对不可能发生，这是文化，这是我们祖国的根，我们不能丢。汉字绝对不会消失。
下面是个口字，对的。
Next time, we are in China's freezing northeast, where we uncover the prehistoric past and drive into the future.
你还别说啊，如果不是看了这个片子呀，我还真不知道咱们司空见惯的高铁、旗袍、汉字的背后有这么多的奥秘。讲述中国故事，传播中国形象，你所不知道的中国探索之旅还在继续。下周6，我们将一起探访东北地区，领略冰雪世界里的别样精彩。中国这么大，永远读不完。